There's an article that the New York Post, I believe, they wrote a piece on Richard Spencer's support. Prominent white supremacist Richard Spencer endorses Kamala Harris. This is the New York Post quoting Richard Spencer at the DNC. She said that she 100% supports Israel. He'll give Israel lethal aid. She also said that the suffering is tremendous. And she also said that Palestinians deserve their own state, their own sovereignty, that they need to have a government, a legitimate organization through which they can live in peace side by side with Israel. I have criticisms of that, but nevertheless, I find that better than Trump. That meaning her whole position, pro-Israel and then pro-Palestinian self-determination. Watch this next quote. If there is a regional conflict, Richard Spencer goes on to say, between Israel and Iran, Trump seems much more likely to not only support Israel in this, but take part in it, start bombing Iranian nuclear facilities. Why does he mention this? Because the white supremacists, under the guise of no more war, don't want an American government that in any way stands with or supports Israel, while Israel's Islamist haters try to destroy Israel. Richard Spencer is one part of a two-tiered equation. This one. The Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, who was the Muslim leader in the region, and Adolf Hitler in their historic meeting in Berlin in 1941. And it's funny, 1941 is also the year of the pogrom, which is called the Farhud in Iraq, no doubt helped organized by the Grand Mufti, in which thousands of Jews of Iraq and Babylon were either killed or displaced. I have friends whose families actually experienced that Farhud. Why am I showing you this picture? Richard Spencer it's an old reality, meaning that he is the Hitler side of that equation. What you see there is a red-green alliance. Red meaning the communists or the Nazis, I should say there. Nazi, left, right, that's another discussion for another day. And then the leftist Islamists together. Of the many things they agree on, which is also includes a hatred for America and for democratic nations, is the Jews. And then, of course, now Israel. Hitler was partnering with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem to see the destruction of the Jews of North Africa and the Middle East, not just the Jews of Europe. Richard Spencer is looking at both parties, and what he's seeing, especially in terms of these candidates, Trump will be more sympathetic and will help and stand with Israel for real, even including helping Israel defend itself, not with boots on the ground, Mr. Tucker Carlson, but with our military relationship. And we have military relationships with many nations, including Egypt, including Jordan, including Nigeria, right? It's not just Israel. He's saying that he's not in favor of that, not because he's concerned about America in wars, that may be part of it, but because it's a war against the Jewish state. And Richard Spencer wants to make sure. What he's saying to you is that he doesn't know that a Kamala Harris administration, like a Biden or Obama administration, will go that far. He's saying that between the two, Trump is the more Israel supporting person, and Kamala Harris, let me say to you, even CNN, I didn't bring the clip with me this time, is talking about the Harris campaign talking out of both sides of its mouth. The messaging that it has to the Muslim communities in places like Michigan, and then the messages that it has to the Jewish communities in places like Pennsylvania. They're showing certain clips of her, I stand with Israel, and then they're showing other clips of her, oh, what's going on in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis. She's talking about threatening a weapons embargo to Israel. See, they're not showing those things to the Jewish voters. They're showing those things to the Muslim voters. So Richard Spencer is saying, a Trump administration will stand with Israel for real. He said the Harris administration, I'm paraphrasing, there's more daylight that's there. People have accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza, and the vice president on more than one occasion has been like, yep, it's horrible, right? So the white supremacist who also hates Israel, he's seeing that he more lines up with the Democrat Party. Again, the dude's a clown. I'm not venerating him. I'm just saying he's quoting, or at the very least, he is correctly assessing the positions of both candidates. And to him, the one that's more anti-Israel for him is Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Like I said, and the Democrats don't listen. Kamala Harris just had an event in DC area the other day, and all the Palestinian flags and everything. All these Palestinian flags, all this intifada, none of that at the Trump rallies, only at the Democratic ones. Outside of the DNC convention a couple of months ago, they were burning the American flag. What did Biden them say about it? Nothing. At some point, Biden, oh, those people, they have a point. Which point? Which point do they have a part of? The free Palestine point? The burning the American flag point? See, if you are the Islamist and you are the white supremacist and you're trying to decide, one of the things that's making you lean towards the Democrats is because they seem to be more sensitive to your position. It is the left that is saying that Zionism is racism. It is the left that is teaching now K through 12 that Israel's a settler, colonial, white, occupying state. It's the left. It's the left. This is not the right. I'm not saying there's not anti-Semitism or Israel hatred on the right. It's there. It's just smaller in its size. On the left, it has captured it. Whether you recognize it or not, whether you admit it or not, it's what's true. So let's keep going. Alex Soros, son of George Soros, who funds lots of this anti-Israel, anti-America stuff, gives a happy birthday shout out to Kamala Harris because the Soroses are one of the biggest donors to the Democrat Party. And look at the little article from our friends at JNS. It's not the only one, but I've used our JNS one. Soros funneled $15 million to groups behind pro-Hamas protests. So not only are the Soroses and others funding this stuff, Bill Gates is connected to it. There's an article, Political did an article a couple of months ago about how these pro-Hamas protests are actually funded by Biden and Harris's top donors. Why is it not a bigger story? Because they're Democrats. If it had said Trump supporters are funding the Hamas, even the pro-Israel organizations who ain't got nothing to say right now, they'd be saying all kinds of stuff, right? Oh, because of the right. The Jew hatred is coming from the left. The education stuff in the K through 12 is coming from the left. The Students for Justice in Palestine, all that stuff is coming from the left. It's like going, wow, if you remove the Democrat-fueled Jew hatred that we're all dealing with, there would be almost none left. All we have to do is keep talking about what's going on the right at that point. The Tucker Carlson, the Candace Owens, but you know, it's an institution funneled by billions of dollars, both in the country and outside, by Qatar and China, all on the left. So a Richard Spencer would say, which of these parties, which of these candidates will give me the biggest reach towards what I want? Off with these Jews, the Democrats.
Truth to Power Live with Jimmy Study Washington.